Let's see. It's a bit like you are doing a course or something, and then you respond a question, and then you go to the back of the book and check your answer. So let's check the answers. So the next morning, the younger one went back to see the Jetson, Milarepa, and said, Lama, I look to see how many minds there are and what they are like. I found there is no more than one. If you try and kill it, you can't kill it. If you try to overpower it, you can't. If you try to seize it, you can grasp it. If you try to push it down, you can push it. If you place it, it won't stay. If you send it away, it won't go. If you try to gather it, you can gather it. If you look at it, you can see it. If you examine it, you can find it. If you think it exists, it won't show itself. If you think it doesn't exist, it spreads all over the place. It flickers and flutters, bounces and bounds, flashes and disappears. I can't say what it is at all. Please, Lama, teach me what it is. It's a very beautiful reply, isn't it? So, and also a very humble way of just saying, I try, but I don't know what. I found something, but I don't know what is it. Can you explain me what is this experience? And then it says that Milarepa sang this song of realization. Caretaking harder, now listen to me. The wonderful taste of candy, so sweet, by hearing its qualities, you won't experience it. You can think all about it, but you won't have the taste. To experience the taste, you must use your tongue. That's a very important aspect of the Buddhist teachings. So I said before, there's something very individual to these teachings, and that is your experience. So that's the difference between wisdom and knowledge. So you can read lots of books, you can listen to many podcasts, you can have many guided meditations, but none of them are going really to evoke, they're not going to give you the answer about the deeper realization that just you can discover with your practice. So that image that Milarepa uses, the wonderful taste of candy, so sweet, by hearing its qualities, you won't experience it. So you just need to taste the candy. You can read a whole book about candy, and how it tastes and how wonderful and the many words to describe it, but unless you taste it, you don't know what candy really is. Similar with this exploration. We need to try it out. And it's in a way, it's your answer. There's something ineffable. That's a very important word as well. Ineffable about reality, ineffable about the nature of mind. And I just want to remind you, that we are doing, at the moment in the Buddhist Center, we are participating of this project, Intriratna, which is exploring the nature of mind from very different angles. So this is one very important, the one that we are doing tonight. But last week we had Paraga looking at near-death experiences, and I think a couple of weeks before that we had Artabandu looking at dreams. So all those are aspects of our minds. So is the mind near to death different to the awakened mind? Is the mind at the sleeping state different to the near-death experience? So in the Buddhist tradition, there is something that we call Bardos, or the in-between states. So this is, there's something that is, we are dwelling in between two different states. So there are 6 different Bardos, and those 3 that I mentioned just now, the awakened, the awakened life, awakened with a small a, the near death, or the dreaming state, they are Bardos. All of them are Bardos. Okay? But they are aspects of the mind. It doesn't mean that they are different minds. They are just aspects of the mind. They are, in a way, there are avenues, gates for us to explore more deeply our experience. Yeah? So something I really like about this little the change between Milarepa and the boy is that Milarepa is really enticing the curiosity. It's really sort of getting him to fuel that curiosity and go a bit more deeply, yeah, with this. So the boy replied to Milarepa, "Then please, Lama, give me this pointing out, and I will search this evening and return tomorrow morning to tell you what I find." Yeah? So this pointing your attention to something in particular. Yeah? So it's something that we do in meditation. Yeah? When we are meditating, if you remember the way we do the mindfulness of breathing, for example, yeah? We help the mind to settle, to focus, to concentrate, and then we go and concentrate our attention, focus our attention on a particular point. Yeah? So that exercise is very important. That's what we're going to be doing next. I just want to read what Milarepa, the instruction that Milarepa gives at the end of day 2 to the shepherd, which is from where I took the title for this evening. Yeah. So Milarepa said, "Tonight, look and see if you can tell me what color mine is. Is it red? Is it white? Search like that. Then look to see what kind of shape it has. Is it oblong? Is it round? Then look from your head down to the soles of your feet to see where the mind actually abides." Yeah. That's what we're going to do next. Yeah. This is the end of day 2. Yeah. And I want to invite you to be very creative now. Yeah. So we're going to sit for a few minutes. I'm going to give you some pointers when we are meditating. And then I'm going to give you a bit of a space just for you to write down or draw or paint what you find in this exploration. Yeah? So feel free to be as creative as you want to be. So again, for those of you here in the shrine room and those of you at home, we're going to be sitting for about 5 to 7 minutes. So just be sure that you are in a comfortable posture. And whenever you feel ready, just close your eyes. Bring into your attention to the experience of the body, physical sensations of weight, temperature, contact. It might be that when you think of your body, there is a mental image, a picture of your body, of your limbs, of the clothing you are wearing. That image is a sensation, Vedana. But see if you can be a bit more curious, looking for other sensations in your experience. The actual contact between your feet and the floor or the cushion, the mat. Contact between your hands and your knees, or between your hands, or your hands on your lap. Contact between the cushions and your sitting bones. The more subtle contact between the clothing you are wearing and your skin, or the air and your skin, on those places that are exposed. Different temperature. physical sensations, mental sensations, light coming through your eyelids, still the eye being stimulated by the light. And then let's direct our attention to sounds. What sounds can you perceive right now, apart from my voice? The most immediate sounds, immediately around you, in your surroundings, and the most distant sounds in the background, outside the building, the house, the street. Where is the sound coming from? When you think of the sound, do you imagine, visualize the source? Or are you just staying with the sound sensation? Are you labeling the sound? Deciding what produces the sound? If it's pleasant or unpleasant? Or can you be just attending, aware of sound? Just sound. What color mine is? Is it red? Is it white? What kind of shape it has? Is it oblong? Is it round? Where does the mind actually abide? Look from your head down to the soles of your feet. Where does the mind actually abide? Okay, so now I want to encourage you to put down, to write down, as I said before, to draw, to color, to paint, whatever the experience, whatever way the experience manifests to you. And even just carry on the exploration if you want. Yeah? We're going to have around 10 minutes now. So if you just want to carry on exploring, what color mind is, what shape mind is, where the mind abides in your experience, just carry on exploring that for another 10 minutes. And be as creative as you want. If yes, I can see some people already in the shrine room drawing some shapes. The sun had come up. The boy drove his cows up the hill and went back to see Milarepa. The Jetson asked him, "Last night, did you search for your mind?" "Yes, I did search for it," he replied. "What is it like?" The boy said, "It moves and is clear and luminous. It's not something I can identify. I couldn't find any color or shape that it has. Together with the eyes, it can see. With the ears, it can hear. Together with the nose, it smells. With the tongue, it tastes. With the feet, it walks. It's a total mishmash, a complete disaster. This present body is just the servant of the mind. When the body is happy, the mind uses it until it degenerates and becomes all. Then, when it has completely deteriorated, the mind just throws it out like a stone used to wipe your behind, and the mind goes on its way just like a spoiled little kid. Then, when the body tries to get retribution on the mind can't just stay there relaxed, at ease. Because of the suffering that ensues, the body tramples on it like a herd of animals in order to stop it. When the body falls asleep at night, the mind goes everywhere, just as it pleases. The body gives the mind such a hard time. When the body tries to take ownership of the mind, things just get worse and worse. It's an interesting reply. So this is a very interesting boy, 16 years old boy, very, very keen to explore things. Something I wanted to say, for us, we don't live in the mountains, we don't live in close connection with nature unless we really make an effort, to be in nature. But living in the city, our experience of our minds might be different, So it's less expansive, perhaps, it's more difficult to be with our experience, to identify our experience, Something that I've been reflecting about my own experience is, the mind sometimes can be almost like water, like a liquid, that takes the shape of the object that is attending to. So if you are watching a TV program, for example, the mind engages with that, takes that particular shape. Something as well that I have said a lot here in Nottingham is my own work with anxiety, and panic attacks. And recently a group of us went to a meditation retreat, and something that I started to do in that meditation retreat is, this thing that the boy says about waking, when you go to sleep and the mind goes everywhere, Something that happens to me quite often is waking in the middle of the night, and then the mind can be very busy, goes everywhere. That's my experience. I can testify, that that's what the mind does. But something that I've been exploring a bit more deeply is the relationship between the mind and the body. So when I wake up in the middle of the night, the first thing that I experience actually is the body. It's a sensation, usually an unpleasant sensation here in the mouth of my belly, my stomach. And what I notice happens is that my mind starts searching for something, for a narrative that matches that experience. And in a weird way, it feels like it's reinforcing the experience, but at the same time, it's a sort of a relief from it. So it engages just because it's engaging. So it can be an object of animosity, in the middle of the night. It can be an object of worried, anticipation. It can be a different object, but it's just my mind searches for something, for a story that helps to remain engaged with whatever is happening with the energy. And what I'm realizing more and more is that if I manage to stay with the sensation, I can work with it. I can be creative. I can change that. So I don't know if that's your experience. If you struggle, I think it's a very common thing nowadays. The Bhante himself talk about the age of anxiety, that we live in the age of anxiety. So anxiety is something very, very spread, in our society. It's a problem really of health in our society. But I just wanted to share that with you, and see if that might be helpful or not. That's where I am with my practice at the moment. So just to finish this, and then we'll do a bit of ritual and meditation. So Milarepa, after listening to the boy replying in this way, about his exploration, he says, some caretaking herder, listen here. Within this body, the meeting point of awareness and matter, the body as the meeting point of awareness and matter, is consciousness that has such great negativity. Its experience of the lower realms, suffering, is reversed through the abandonment of samsara. Do you wish to go, O noble son, to the higher realms, that city of freedom? I love that image, the city of freedom. That, by the way, is a title of next week's evening, the city of freedom. If you do wish to go, I can take you there. So in a way, now Milarepa knows that he is ready. This boy is ready. And when Milarepa had sung this, the boy said, oh yes, you must. Please accept me. Accept him as a disciple. Then Milarepa asked him, what is your name? My name is Yenyen Sangye Kiap. How old are you? I'm 16 years old. With that, the Jeksun gave him the transmission for refuge, explained the benefits of going for refuge, and saying, from this evening on, do not break your refuge vows. Now, go tonight and investigate. Are you who go for refuge, body or mind? Then come back tomorrow morning with your answer. And we leave it there. We'll come back for day 4 next week. But what we're going to do now is, in the fashion of this little exchange between Milarepa and the shepherd. So we are going to salute the 3 jewels represented in the shrine, and we are going to recite the refuges and precepts, and then we'll sit together. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to close the evening with a period of the Metta Bhavana. So something that I want to do is, I want to name all the people that are connected here tonight. So we've been doing this exploration together. Yeah. So it's going to be a very simple metta bhavana. It's just a metta bhavana in 2 stages. Yeah, I'm going to remind you of who is in the room virtually and physically. Yeah, and then we'll close the evening. If you need to leave for any reason, just feel free to leave, after the refuse and precepts. Is that clear?